Getting ready to make a few more wind spinners, because I sold about 7 that I made before. First thing you want to make sure that your table saw is always unplugged. Get the height of your blade set to where teeth is just above the wood. That way if you make a bad mistake, the cut won't be too bad. And I'm using this sled right here, which helps me tremendously. And I've got a stop block over here, and it's 9 inches from the blade. And I'm making a lot of parts that are going to be 9 inches long. And putting this stop block here saves you a lot more time. You don't have to keep readjusting. Those are all 9-inch pieces, and I'll put together about a 30-inch long, 9 inches wide wooden wind spinner. Main thing on making these wind spinners, last time I just took all the time to mark each one centered with a pencil, which was a real pain. Took a long time to do about 100 of them. So this time I just take a block, it's equal to the same size, and I mark one with a hole in it. And once I got it centered, I pretty much know where it's going to hit, and that way I can drill each one without a problem. One thing you have to watch when you're raising your drill press up, your handle, sometimes in a little bit of a bind, these can get caught and they'll go spinning around and they'll crack your knuckle if you ain't careful. But with these here, it stops it real short and less chance of you getting a finger smashed or hit. But it's definitely the fastest way. Another way to drill these holes for these wind spinners, and it's actually faster than setting up and getting the drill press set and lined up, at least for me. I just take this, it's already got a hole in it and it's centered. Just put the hole a little bit outside of the end, and then I take another piece that's pretty much about the same length, match the hole up, and then I just hold it down and I just drill right down through it and get my hole drilled out. Then you want to work it around just a little bit, because it's got to be just a hair bigger than that, a little bit bigger than that 1/4 inch threaded rod. But the biggest thing you want to watch when drilling this, if you're not careful, on a thick piece of wood, it'll catch in that drill bit and it'll flip it around and crack your knuckles and fingers. This 36-inch rod is a 1/4 inch. You can either grind it, which I find making the ends very, very thin, And I've had a few where you grind so much away they crack or break. So I found it's better on something heavy. I got this mallet and I smashed the two sides, and it gives me more area. It's flattened out versus grinding it away. You got a lot more material because you aren't grinding it off. When you grind it off, you got less material to work with. It's harder to get a hole through it. So I find this is definitely better. Then, so your drill bit, you don't want it sticking out real far. You want your drill bit to be up in there so it don't bend and break on you. Then I take a punch, get it about in the center. That way your drill bit doesn't slide around, which can also break it. But that is an important part to it. Then I take it over to the drill press, and once you got this end of the rod pounded flat, just by pounding, it does give you more surface, makes it a little bit wider than if you grind it off. Then I put just a little drop of oil on it so the bit don't burn as it's trying to cut through this steel. And it does take a very good steel bit. Then I hold it flat, get the hole drilled through it. Sometimes the hole's right on the edge, which can run it. But you can see here, that made a nice hole. And you want this drill bit up as high as you can because going through metal, it has a tendency to want to bend if it's out very far. Putting together the wind spinner now. Up here at the top where I got the hole, I got a nut, a lock washer, and a washer to hold them in place as I put these pieces and slide them on here. Even though they're all a 1/4 inch hole, some of them's a little tough to get on. You have to work it around, but then once you get it going, you're fine. And then after I fill it up, I'll put the nut and the washer on the bottom and get everything put back in place. And then I'll take the corners, and each corner I will just touch it end to end, where it just barely touches on end to end. And then once I hang it up, and then I'll lock it in place using these washers and nuts. Then once you get all of this wind spinner, every little board touching edge to edge, you want to tighten it up so it doesn't slip out of place. This is all made out of, this part here is all made out of skids. I'm a big boy. Huh? And I rechecked like 6-7 times, and each time had a couple that was out of line. Get it too tight, you won't be able to remove them. And there you have your wind spinner. 36-inch long, 1/4-inch threaded rod. Actually got it at Lowe's for like about $250, $270. You can also get shorter size. I've had 24 before, but to me 30 would be more ideal, but they don't come that way. 3 wind spinners that I just made are 36 inches long. Then I put a lacquer on them for a clear coat. These battery operated units that I got from Amazon, one of them doesn't work. That's why the one in the middle is not spinning.
Yeah, those are cool.